Hi guys, this video is an introduction for you for your summative assessment. As you know, we are having a summative assessment project starting today. Today is April 12th. Okay, now let me share to you the introduction here. So our summative assessment title is That Trip When I Visited Jakarta Aquarium. Now, the goal of this assessment, obviously, is for you to show to us your understanding upon the statement of inquiry. The statement of inquiry is a hopeful future for life below waters requires a systemic transformation informed by evidence. Bear in mind that there are several concepts in here. There is systemic transformation, and there is also evidence. So the systemic transformation in here will be focusing on the transformation of ecosystem, marine ecosystem, from the natural marine ecosystem to be artificial uh, marine ecosystem. And the evidence in here, that's a strong part in here. Whenever you're going to say something, give comment, evaluate the artificial ecosystem in a Jakarta aquarium, you have to give evidence. Okay. Now, this is the goal. So you have to pivot your explanation using this statement of inquiry. The role that is given to you is you are a junior staff at the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. So you're kind of like a young, new staff in there, just joined this Ministry of Affairs, Marine Affairs and Fisheries. And then the audience will be the executive government official at the Ministries of Marine Affairs and Fisheries. So basically, you're going to report this to your supervisor, like the higher level of the official. The situation is you have to understand that the UN, the United Nations, has asked the Indonesian government to evaluate their progress toward achieving Sustainable Development Goals number 14, which is focusing on creating better future for life underwater, right? Now, the government here, under the Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries, need to assess Jakarta Aquarium impacts on this specific goal number 14. Okay. Now, you as a junior staff is asked to evaluate this Jakarta aquariums, and then you have to create a creative report, including the evidence to support your finding. You can imagine your boss asks you to evaluate this Jakarta Aquarium in the point of view. The context is this going to give a more hopeful future for the life below water? Okay. Now, the product of your finding can be, because it is creative product, can be podcast, vlog, news articles, or reports, slide presentation, and you have to present it, or you can make kind of TED talk when you talk like a TED talk. The standard of assessment will be, this is criterion designs. First, take a look at this blue colored words or terms. This is command terms. Back again to the command term, can you please find the definition later on? What is explain, discuss, and evaluate? The first one, you have to explain the problem related to the life underwater using science perspective. So here's the thing about the problem in here. Well, in the formative assessment, we have discussed about 5 problems related to the life below water according to the Sustainable Development Goals from the UN. Now you're gonna choose one of them and then choose one specific species, marine species in Jakarta Aquarium. I'll tell you about this later in a more specific explanation. And then you have to explain a science from science point of view. For example, if you choose jellyfish, And then you're going to break down the problem related to the marine ecosystem of jellyfish. And then from science perspective, for example, okay, there is this plastic pollution, changing the pH, etc. and etc. So that's science perspective. And then you go explain the term for, explain the solution, the second one, this one. Explain the solutions, which mean the solution that is Jakarta Aquarium offering is the artificial ecosystem. So you're going to choose one of the artificial ecosystem and then explain it, like how they able to make it, what is the data that they have to then create this artificial ecosystem of marine. Now you're gonna go back again at the one of the related concept that we have, which is evidence. So you have to back this with evidence. Like for example, when we visit this Jakarta Aquarium and then you have interview, that's why later on you have to schedule, you have to you have to create a interview questions, and then just collect as much as possible the evidence in there. Like, is there any data? Some of the example of evidence is data. You can ask them like the data of, is this fish in here in Jakarta Aquarium, they survive for how long? And then what do they need to do when the fish in there like die or something? Okay, so that's like science perspective still. So you gotta find that evidence in the Jakarta Aquarium about how they have this artificial marine ecosystem. The last one is discuss and evaluate the impact of this transformation. So you're gonna take a look at this factor, for example, environment, education, culture, economic, and etc. Well, you gotta think about like beyond the box itself. Like for example, this aquarium is good, but how many electricity is actually needed to create this? And is this electricity coming from the clean source of energy or not? That's the impact to the environment. Education is a big question in there. Like they declare themselves to educate people about marine life. Is this really happening in there? So for the educations, you can interview the visitors of this Jakarta Aquarium. This is also during the visit. I hope you get the idea of all of this. If you have any questions, you can ask your teacher about it. It's gonna be fun. The trip, just choose one of the a fish or any marine creatures. Thanks, guys. Bye bye.